Welcome to Chasing Curiosity TV. Subscribe and press the bell icon for more updates. The air crackles with tension, thick with anticipation as the crew braces for what's to come. A small Philippine Coast Guard vessel bobs in the restless waters of the West Philippine Sea on what should be a routine resupply mission, but every journey here carries risk. Suddenly, a fleet of massive Chinese ships appears on the horizon, their silhouettes growing larger and more imposing with every passing second. The radio crackles, "Turn back or face consequences." The threat is unmistakable, echoing through the tense silence. The Filipino crew stands firm, outnumbered and outgunned, their ship dwarfed by the looming Chinese vessels. But their resolve is unshaken. A water cannon erupts from a Chinese ship, slamming into the Filipino boat with a force meant to intimidate and drive them back. Cameras roll, documenting every move, every shout, every spray of water, turning the confrontation into a global spectacle. This isn't just a confrontation, it's a clash of strategies, a test of willpower and international resolve. One side uses force, the other, courage and the power of the camera, determined to show the world what's happening. For years, China has asserted dominance over these waters, intimidating smaller neighbors and expanding its reach, ship by ship. The Philippines faces a choice: surrender or resist, knowing that every decision could have lasting consequences. But how do you fight a giant without starting a war? The answer isn't simple, and the stakes couldn't be higher. The answer: intelligence, international law, and unwavering resolve. The battle is as much about principles as it is about territory. Headlines flash, tensions flare in South China Sea. The world's attention is drawn to this maritime flashpoint. Each incident is a calculated risk, a message to Beijing and the world that the Philippines will not back down. The Philippines refuses to be bullied into silence, standing tall in the face of overwhelming odds. Strength isn't just about Navy size, it's about standing your ground, documenting the truth, and letting the world bear witness. This is the story of a small nation outsmarting a superpower without firing a shot. The world is watching, and history is being written in real time. The stakes are high and every move is scrutinized by allies, rivals, and the global community. The Philippines is determined to defend its rights no matter the cost or the pressure. The confrontation at sea is just the beginning, a spark that could ignite wider conflict or inspire peaceful resistance. The battle will be fought on many fronts, in courtrooms, in diplomatic halls, and in the hearts of those who refuse to yield. And the outcome could reshape the region, altering the balance of power for generations to come. To truly understand this conflict, you must first understand the water itself, its power, its promise, and its peril. The ocean is more than just a vast expanse. It is a living, breathing force that shapes the destiny of nations. The South China Sea is the world's economic superhighway. Over a third of global shipping passes through here, making it one of the most vital arteries of international trade. Trillions in commerce depend on these lanes, with goods, energy and resources flowing between continents every single day. Beneath the waves lie vast reserves of oil and gas, a powerful lure for energy-hungry nations seeking to fuel their growth and secure their futures. The sea is also one of the most biodiverse ecosystems on Earth, home to countless species and vital for millions who depend on fishing for their daily survival. For the Philippines, these waters are more than a resource, they're a core part of national identity, woven into the lives and memories of generations. Filipinos call it the West Philippine Sea, a declaration of their connection, their heritage, and their rights to these waters. The scattered islands and reefs are symbols of independence, each one a testament to the nation's enduring spirit. Losing control would mean losing a piece of the national soul, a loss that would echo through every coastal village and family. The fight here is for economic stability, food security, and dignity, a struggle that touches every Filipino table and community. When a Chinese ship blocks a Filipino fishing boat, it's not just an incident, it's a threat to livelihood, to law, and to the very idea of sovereignty. The stakes are global. Any disruption here ripples across economies worldwide, affecting prices, jobs, and stability far beyond these shores. The battle for these waters is a battle for the future, for the right to determine one's own fate in a rapidly changing world. It's where global interests and local lives collide, where the decisions of the powerful shape the daily realities of the vulnerable. The Philippines stands at the heart of this struggle, its people resilient and determined to defend what is theirs. The world cannot afford to look away, for what happens here will shape the tides of history for generations to come. China's claim to the South China Sea is both bold and sweeping, a move that has captured global attention and concern. This claim is marked by its infamous nine-line, a boundary that has sparked intense debate and controversy. This line covers nearly 90% of the sea, overlapping the exclusive economic zones of several countries, creating a complex web of disputes. Beijing bases its claim on historic rights, a notion that has been firmly rejected by modern international law and many global leaders. To enforce its claim, China has built artificial islands, transforming once peaceful reefs into formidable military outposts. Runways, radars, and missile launchers now dot the sea, shifting the balance of power overnight and raising regional tensions. China's maritime militia, often disguised as fishing fleets, swarm and harass other nations' vessels, creating a tense atmosphere. The result is a constant state of low-level conflict, designed to assert control without open war, keeping tensions simmering. For the Philippines, these aggressive actions are a direct assault on its sovereignty and territorial integrity. The nine-line cuts deep into its exclusive economic zone, threatening its maritime rights. Fishermen are chased away, their livelihoods threatened, and their futures uncertain. The world's response has been slow, but the Philippines knows it must act decisively to protect its interests. A new path is needed, one that doesn't rely solely on military might but seeks diplomatic solutions and international support. Facing overwhelming force, the Philippines made a bold choice: fight in the courtroom, not on the battlefield. In 2013, it challenged China under the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, UNCLOS. The case was simple. China's nine-line had no legal basis. UNCLOS grants coastal states a 200 nautical mile exclusive economic zone. China's historic rights couldn't override these zones. China refused to participate, calling the case a provocation. The Philippines pressed on, building a case with maps, satellite images, and legal principles. This legal strategy shifted the narrative from military confrontation to a fight for the rule of law. The Philippines wasn't just defending territory, it was defending the idea that law should govern nations. The world watched as a small nation stood up for a rules-based order. The stakes were higher than a few islands. They were about the future of international law. July 12, 2016, the world watched as the Permanent Court of Arbitration delivered its verdict. The ruling, a sweeping victory for the Philippines. China's nine-line, legally baseless. The court condemned China's interference and environmental destruction. The Philippines' exclusive economic zone was affirmed. China rejected the ruling, calling it null and void. On the water, China doubled down, ignoring the verdict. But the legal landscape had changed. The Philippines now had international law on its side. The ruling became a diplomatic weapon, giving allies a clear reason to support the Philippines. Even if China ignored the verdict, the world knew who was right. The Philippines had secured the moral high ground. The fight was no longer just about territory, it was about legitimacy. The ruling energized diplomatic protests and international support. The world had a new standard for judging China's actions. The Philippines' legal victory echoed far beyond its shores. With a legal win but continued aggression, the Philippines pivoted to a new strategy: transparency. If China acted like a bully, the world would see it. Coast Guard and fishermen were equipped with cameras. Every mission became a chance to document the truth. Videos of water cannons and dangerous maneuvers went viral, exposing China's tactics. The evidence was undeniable, cutting through diplomatic spin. The Philippines also built alliances, conducting joint patrols with the US and reaching out to Japan, Australia, and Europe. The 2016 ruling became a rallying point for a rules-based order. Transparency and alliances worked together. Documented incidents fueled diplomatic efforts. China was forced to respond to global scrutiny. The Philippines was no longer just a victim. It was shaping the narrative. The world saw the reality, not just the rhetoric. The strategy of light put China on the defensive. The Philippines became a skilled narrator on the global stage. The real strength of the Philippines' strategy lies in its people. The Philippine Coast Guard faces down Chinese ships with courage, despite being outmatched. Every resupply mission to the BRP Sierra Madre is a test of resolve. Fishermen too refuse to be intimidated, venturing into contested waters and documenting encounters. Their videos, raw and real, galvanize public support. The BRP Sierra Madre, a rusting WoW-era ship, stands as a symbol of sovereignty. Marines live aboard in harsh conditions, defending the nation's claim. These stories turn the conflict from abstract to personal. Filipinos see their own courage reflected in these heroes. The struggle becomes a source of national pride. The world sees not just a legal battle, but a human drama. The spirit of a nation is measured by the resolve of its people. The Philippines' strategy has sparked a wave of support at home and abroad. Videos of Chinese aggression unite Filipinos, turning the West Philippine Sea into a rallying cry. Social media buzzes, rallies fill the streets, and national pride surges. The government gains a strong mandate to stand firm. Internationally, allies step up. The US, Japan, Australia, and others conduct joint patrols and issue strong statements. The G7 condemns China's actions, backing the 2016 ruling. The Philippines is no longer alone. It's at the center of a coalition for a free Indo-Pacific. By grounding its stand in law and transparency, it makes it easy for others to support. The issue is now a global test of the rules-based order. China faces growing diplomatic and reputational costs. The tide of opinion is turning. The Philippines' principled stand is reshaping the region. The Philippines' story is a lesson in quiet courage and strategic patience. It chose law and principle over escalation, challenging a superpower with truth. This approach built moral authority and international respect. China may win physical confrontations, but loses the battle for legitimacy. Viral videos chip away at China's global standing. The Philippines plays the long game, showing smaller nations a path to resist. By leveraging law, alliances, and transparency, it stands up to a bully. The international system can work, if nations are brave enough to use it. The future depends on whether the world supports this quiet courage. The next chapter is unwritten. The world is watching.